It's always a pleasure having you on board. Welcome back to the marketplace. Now to a very fair story. Some finance houses and savings and loans companies have started closing down their subsidiaries due to some panic withdrawals that have hit them. The move, Joy Business understands, is to prevent collapse of these companies. There's more in this report.
Staff with the savings and loans company in question have already received communication from their bosses about the planned restructuring exercise. This will result in a subsidiary of that company being closed down completely. The firm, which can be described as a big player in the industry, is also looking at reviewing salaries of its workers in the group. All these are meant to prevent the company from going down. We also understand that some other finance houses are also going through a similar challenge, threatening their operations. According to these firms, their situation has been compounded by the fact that funds borrowed are also not being paid, with the panic withdrawals worsening their situation. The development is not only limited to savings and loans companies, but microfinance and financial houses. Joy Business understands that some of these are running into millions of cedis. But the question is, are all these withdrawals going to foreign banks, or are they going somewhere else?
Meanwhile, the current banking reform is also impacting negatively on investment companies. That's according to investment banker and CEO of Echo Capital Investments, Dela Agbo, who was sharing his thoughts on how the current actions by the central bank to sanitize the banking sector has also affected activities of investment houses. Dela Agbo noted the situation is making it difficult to meet benchmarks set by some investors who have virtually lost confidence in the banking sector.
A lot of Ghanaians don't believe in buying shares. Now, the small monies that people have invested buying UT shares too, they have not made decision on it. Technically, assuming it has collapsed naturally, it means that all the shareholders, including the stock market, they also do not get anything. But in Ghana, I would have thought that GCB or the researcher should at least, if they can, at least give something small back to the investors that bought those shares, at least, so that people don't get scared. Because now people are afraid. Oh, okay, I bought some UT shares. Due to the UT collapse, still I've not gotten anything. Now I did fixed deposit. So, it creates a lot of panic. So I think equity side they are not really mandated to really do anything on that, to give anything. But a country like Ghana, where already Ghanaians don't believe in buying shares because they are afraid of the fluctuations and things. Now this UT issue also comes, it's rather difficult for us to convince people to still invest in shares. We are now in the area now that when you recommended that, XYZ of your funds, I want to invest it into fixed income and I'll place some with the bank. Say, no, don't do anything with any of the local banks. Then you go to the strong ones that tend to be foreign ones, and then they also tell you that they are stronger than BOG, they are stronger than government of Ghana, so they'll give you a rate lower than what treasury bill rate is. So it affects investors' confidence, and it makes it difficult for us as fund managers to beat the benchmarks given to us. Because when you're managing somebody's money, the person gives you a benchmark for you to try and beat that benchmark at the end of the year. And now if you are struggling to get a product that you've been assigned to invest in, and it's difficult to get the numbers, it creates some difficulties.
As though within the financial sector, to enhance financial inclusion, EcoBank Ghana has introduced the Express Point Agency Banking, an easy banking service that allows customers to access some services at selected Shell filling stations across the country. Karen Dodu reports.
Express Point, an agency banking agreement between Ecobank Ghana and Vivo Energy Ghana Limited, provides customers with banking services such as deposits and withdrawals, sending and receiving money from other Ecobank accounts to customers across Africa. Speaking at the launch of the banking service, Executive Director of Ecobank Ghana, Morgan Fianco-Esiedu, said Ecobank is hoping to improve financial inclusion through the creation of this initiative.
Ecobank has a key objective of attracting 100 million customers on the mobile app by 2020. This alone, when achieved, has the potential of empowering the large unbanked and underserved people of Africa, providing great gains with respect to financial freedom and financial literacy, and deepening financial inclusion and reducing the cost to serve. In Ghana, Ecobank's digital drive aligns with the government's desire for every Ghanaian to have a bank account. We see this as a meaningful contribution towards reducing the over 70% of Ghanaians who currently have no bank account. Noted for its leadership in the provision of IT and digital banking solutions, Ecobank has always leveraged technology and third-party collaborations to deploy flexible financial products and services to our customers.
On his part, Managing Director of Vivo Energy, the parent company for Shell Ghana, Ebenezer Faulkner, lauded Ecobank Ghana for the efforts to bring banking services closer to customers.
We are pleased to enter into a partnership agreement with Ecobank Ghana, a leading bank in the provision of financial services in Ghana, to offer Ecobank agency banking services in line with our objective to continually meet the dynamic needs of our customers. Building on our existing relationship with Ecobank Ghana over the past years, Vivo Energy Ghana is pleased to partner with Ecobank to launch the Express Point, that is, Ecobank agency banking service at selected service stations in Accra, Tema, Kaswa.
The Express Point service can be accessed at 17 selected Shell filling stations across the country.
Let's now move into the hospitality sector. Now, over 3,000 traditional restaurants and drinking bars in the Ashanti region risk being closed down if they fail to register or renew their licenses by next week. The Ghana Tourism Authority says hotels, recreational centers and related facilities will also be affected in the clampdown. Ashanti Regional Manager Peter Achampong led a team in an exercise to sanitize the service provisions as part of a nationwide program.
Officials inspected Mercy Land Event Grounds, Konfanochi Guest House, Rexma Hotel, Henry Lemon Pub and Kofo House Pub. 8 of such facilities were locked up for failing to meet industry requirements in breach of the law. Legislative instruments 2238 and 2239 require all operators in the tourism industry to register before commencement of business. Mr. Champon says besides compelling operators to comply with the law, the exercise will ensure increased revenue for government.
It's about clamp down of illegal operators in the hospitality industry. If we say this, we are talking of hotels, restaurants, travel and tours, car rentals, and hostels and all the others which have not registered with the Ghana Tourism Authorities, and they are operating. We call that one illegal. And there are others who have also registered, but they haven't got their license yet, and they are still operating. Another one on the proper informal sector. When I talk of informal sector, I mean the tour bars and the drinking bars. There are a lot of them which have not come to the office to come and register with us. And all this, we have given them a lot of warnings that they should come to register and be licensed, but they have not been coming to the office. So we're going to do exercise and close down all those units.
The informal sector, how many should we expect?
Informal sector in Ashanti region, let's expect about more than 3,000. There are more than 3,000 units.
Meanwhile, the authority says it will soon descend on pubs and other facilities for excessive noise pollution.
Reduce the noise making at the residential areas, especially the pubs and the drinking bars. Let's call them drinking bars. They have to reduce the noise at the residential areas. Yes, because most of them registered, some of them registered with us as restaurants, but they have now turned them into spots that they make a lot of noise. So we just plead with them that they have to reduce the level of noise at those areas so that the residents can have their peace. If they bring their speakers out, we plead with them that they should send them inside so that it doesn't make noise to disturb the residents.
Reporting for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
Right, so back here in Accra in the studio, we'd like to get some more reactions, and I've been joined by the president of the Ghana Hotels Association, Dr. Edward Akanyamike Jr., to get some more on this. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the marketplace.
Thank you.
Now, so what is your initial reaction to this, and especially when, I mean, some people are alleged to have registered but are waiting for the final permit? I mean, what is your reaction to this?
Well, thank you, Emmanuel, for the opportunity. My first reaction is that it's in the right direction.
Okay.
The hotel industry is governed by rules and regulations, and the Ghana Tourism Authority is our primary authority that regulates the industry. Now, every hotel facility is supposed to get licensed by that authority. So if you operate with license, then there's a big challenge. You know, the industry is very sensitive. It has to do with the lives and the health of people. It has to do with the image of the country itself. And it has to be regulated, and it's done through the licensing. So without license, we have no authority to operate.
Now, so are some of your members, you know, victims to this particular situation, and what are you doing?
I checked with Eastern Region. None of the hotels that have been closed down is a member of the association. Indeed, one of the requirements for being admitted into the association, if you look at our constitution, is that it should have been registered by the authority before we can even allow you to become a member of the association. Of course, there's annual renewal with the authority. So over the years, we check these things to make sure that every member is in good standing as far as licenses from the authority is concerned.
Now, I know that, like you said earlier, regulation is part of the industry, very important part. But to me, why wouldn't the GTA maybe give a leeway for these people who have not registered or who have temporarily registered and are waiting for the full permit to pay up and get regularized?
Let me give you an interesting analogy. It's just like saying that a car without roadworthiness should be allowed to operate on the roads. It's very dangerous. Very, very dangerous because lives are involved. The same thing with the industry. Some of them, reading from the story, implies that they were given a temporary license, like you're saying. But that is within a period. So when that period elapses and you haven't fulfilled the requirements that was given. You see, let me put it this way. The Tourism Authority is a licensing authority, but it also collaborates with other regulatory bodies, like the EPA, the Food and Drugs Authority, the Ghana Fire Service, the police. So every hotel needs to obtain permits from all these bodies.
But did they have to wait till now to clamp them down? I mean, why is it that at the onset, when they were even trying to enter the industry, these things are not checked to ensure that they do the right thing before?
Well, you asked me to speak on behalf of the authority. But that has been some of the challenges we've had with the regulatory bodies.
Okay.
Sometimes they allow some of the provisions in the acts to lie down for a very long time. Then out of the blue, they start such exercises. We think that it should be on a daily basis.
So in this regard, do you see it as an opportunity to get people, I mean, because you noted in an earlier interview that I had with you that you were embarked on a drive to get more people into your fold, I mean, the association's umbrella, under the umbrella of the association. Would it be an opportunity to actually get on board many people who are not licensed?
Well, as I indicated earlier on, the association can only admit a hotel if it is licensed by the authority.
Okay.
Now, once you are licensed and you become a member, then we encourage you to also renew your license.
Okay.
And I even get to a point where we try to form a unit that helps the hotels to comply with the various regulatory requirements. Okay. So our role is not to license hotels, but our role is to bring in those who have been licensed by the authority, and then we now teach them some of the rudiments of the industry.
Okay. Now we hear some of these hotels and outlets involved are quite popular ones, and would this not affect the hospitality sector in any way? I mean, clamping them down, closing them down? Is it going to limit the number of people or the number of operators?
No, it doesn't. And indeed, we have had consultants association to even draw the attention of the authority, the Ghana Tourism Authority, to such illegal operators in the industry. Why? When you are not a licensed hotel, what it means is that you are not paying the license fee to the Ghana Tourism Authority. You are not paying for EPA permit. You are not paying for Food and Drugs Authority permit. You are not even paying taxes, the VAT that we all pay. And these are cost elements that pushes our rates high. And then you operate without it, and so your rates are cheaper.
Okay, so it's to your disadvantage.
Exactly. And then sometimes we get calls from members who locate such hotels, such unlicensed hotels, operate at very cheap rates, at whose detriment to
your final words before you go.
Well, I think it's an exercise in the right direction. What we have always said, that when we know what we need to do as an association, we ensure that our members do it. And one of them is that make sure that your license is renewed every year, your permits for all the regulatory bodies are renewed, and we all have our peace.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time. And you heard Dr. Edward Nyamike Jr. He's the president of the Ghana Hotels Association. He's been sharing his thoughts on this particular development, where over 3,000 hotels, restaurants, and other related facilities are to be closed down in the Ashanti region. Previous exercises have been held in other regions as well. Away from that, indigenous oil exploration firm Springfield is set to commence commercial drilling on the country's waters next year. Speaking to Joy Business at a forum on how to develop entrepreneurial skills of tertiary students held in Accra, Chief Executive of Springfield Group, Kevin Ochre, says top of the company's mission is to complement government's vision of industrialization. Here's Bismarck Awusa's report.
The indigenous oil exploration firm Springfield obtained a license in 2010 as a bulk distribution company from Ghana's National Petroleum Authority (NPA) for the procurement, sale and distribution of petroleum products to oil marketing companies and refineries. However, the company is also going into the upstream sector for production of oil and gas. Chief Executive of the Springfield Group, Kevin Ochre, says all is set for exploration of hydrocarbons next year.
We are on our program. We believe that next year, God willing, we are going to be drilling, and very soon after that, we are doing all preparations to try and come into production as soon as technically possible.
So talking about preparations, have you secured all the approvals from government?
Yes, I mean, as of now, we have all the approvals we need at the stage that we are. What we are doing, we believe, simply is going to put smiles on people's faces. And why do I say that? We are looking at bringing on gas and hydrocarbon. And gas is what enables us to be able to steady at night. It enables our industries to be able to produce what they need to produce. So this government agenda of industrialization of Ghana and of Africa as a continent can be enhanced by what we are doing by bringing the energy resources that is needed.
The Springfield boss spoke to Joy Business on the sidelines of a nation-building entrepreneurial forum organized at the University of Ghana Business School. Chief Operations Officer of Springfield, Gina Malkani, on her part says it's about time Ghanaians took charge of their businesses.
It's only natural. We don't have the expertise. We don't have the technical knowledge or the know-how to develop industries. So we've been used to foreign companies coming in and doing it for us on our behalf. But it's about time foreign companies teach us. We learn from it and we start doing it ourselves because it is our economy. Ghana is our country.
The Springfield Nation Building Entrepreneurial Forum was organized on the theme Unearthing and Enhancing the Innate Potential of Ghanaian Youth for Business Creation and National Development. Bismarck Awusa, Joy Business.
Now, research scientists are introducing Ghanaian yam farmers to a new planting system for sustainable production in the face of depleting soils and climate change. The Pigeon Pea yam cropping system has been identified as viable in improved yam productivity. Yam farmers from the Ashanti and Bonahafo regions were exposed to the new cropping system at an station trial field at Aframso in the Ejura-Sechidumasi district of the Ashanti region.
The pigeon pea is used as allies with the yams planted in between the ridges. The system also involves placing the pigeon pea at the border zone, which are cut and used as stakes. Research scientist on the project, Eric Owusu-Dankwa, explains the pigeon pea conserves moisture and fixes atmospheric nitrogen. The leaves or biomass, which are cut and spread before land preparation, also add to the soil carbon, a nutrient stock in sustaining soil fertility.
The yam production in Ghana and West Africa has a major issue of sustaining soil fertility because farmers need good soils. They clear the field, new fields every year, and that contributes to deforestation. So what we intend doing here is how do we sustain the soil so farmers can continue on a particular field for a longer period. So pigeon pea comes in, it fixes the nitrogen in the soil, and also the biomass adds to the soil carbon and the soil nutrient to sustain the soil. And there's another issue with yam production, and that is staking. Farmers need stakes. As a result, they cut down trees, do everything to get stakes. And this also adds to deforestation.
At the end of the 3-year project, the researchers are hoping to come out with a technology that will be appreciated by farmers. Farmers in yam-producing areas like Atebubu Amanten, Ejura, Techiman and Kintampo are participating in the trials. Some farmers gave their impressions on the new planting system. We used to plant yam with pepper and other crops, she said, but we have seen the staking system will help.
First idea by
we had lots of problems, he said. We had big lands which wouldn't yield anything, but this system will help.
Asana Byron, 1 year on crab, Biba, Murabafa, Sassini, Utu, Fun Kakara, they send when you go to a big crab, at the Senaka, do a full beginning into Chanka Carabia.
If I told you, maybe I know the boy and they say,
we think with this, even with a small land, we'll get good harvest. Reporter for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
And here we draw the curtains down on this afternoon's edition of the Marketplace and, of course, the Marketplace for the week. It's been good having you on board throughout the whole week and expect to have you again next Monday for more business. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. Have a good afternoon.